The travel boycott of the United States. It continues. No, I'm not talking about Canada this time. Although they have boycotted the United States. Elbows up! Well, I'm going to talk about the United States actually not travelling to Europe as promiscuously. No, it's the wrong word. That's the wrong word. As often as they once did. Anyway, compared to last year. And this is promiscuously. Maybe that as well. But anyway. So 33% of US respondents to a survey by the European Travel Commission were planning to visit Europe this summer. Now that's about 7% less compared to this time last year. It's 2024. And why is that? From what I can tell, many Americans are a little bit, they don't know how they're going to be received. And I would say, yeah, you are right to be worried. Because there will be some places that are not going to be too welcoming. Now, not just because of what's going on in the United States, not just because of the fact of Donald Trump's tariffs, which, the fact that you're pissing everybody off with those, so but also because of what's going on regarding over-tourism in some of the countries, especially of Spain, for instance, Barcelona and the Balearic Islands and all that. They've got a serious problem with over-tourism. You could say, well, they haven't enough houses. Well, that's probably true. But it's happened so fast with the Airbnbs and what have you, just literally destroying towns. And it takes the soul out of the communities. There's basically, they're soulless. There's no community anymore. Because people had to leave. They couldn't afford to live there. And when you get old parents and what have you, and their children move away because they can't buy a house, it breaks up families as well. So needless to say, there is animosity there aimed at, over-tourism, tourists in general, and quite often against the Brits because they are the highest amount of, or the largest quantity of tourists going to Spain. Now, I've sort of touched on this before in a previous video. But there is something else that's happening. And it's, from what I can make out, it's a direct response to Donald Trump. That everyone's getting pissed off, all right, with what's going on in the United States. Now, we know that Canada has boycotted the United States regarding visiting and food and trade and you name it, bloody well everything. If it's something to do with the United States, they don't want to know. Well, other countries are pretty much doing the same. And one in particular used to travel to the United States for tourism, the people with all the little cameras and little snap cameras, and anyway, on the buses, the Chinese, right? So I suppose that was a hint, really, wasn't it? The Chinese who were visiting the United States is actually down. Not so many Chinese citizens are visiting the United States now because of everything that's been going on. The tariffs, the threat of animosity towards them, the racism, and you name it, You can just imagine it. Why would you want to travel to the United States? You see, Donald Trump is causing so much damage to your tourist industry, an industry that's worth around 80-odd billion. This is not something that will heal just once he's out of the White House. This is damage that's going to be long-lasting. And it changes people's habits as well. See, some of these people would have visited the United States as, of course, I'll go to that same old place and go there every single year. Because it's creatures of habit. And all of a sudden you broke that habit. That habit's been broken because of Donald Trump. And they'll never ever return again. On the off chance they might do. In the future. But that regular trip will be no more. That is the damage that he has done. But the share of Chinese travellers planning a European summer trip has increased by 10% to the EU from China. So they're not going to the United States now. They're visiting European countries instead, or a percentage of them are. The US tourists seem to be cutting back on summer trips to Europe, but the Chinese travellers are more than making up for it. So there's about 7.5% loss of American citizens visiting Europe, but there's an increase of 10% of the Chinese. So we've got more tourism, not less. Oh, crikey. Oh, dear. Oh, dairy me. So anyway, so the US's economy has been hit hard in all directions, not just the tariffs and what have you, which is kind of the trigger for a lot of this stuff, but your tourist industry as well. People are not travelling to the United States. Also, people in the United States aren't travelling as much. You might say, okay, well, they might spend their money in the United States. But a lot of people just staying put. Saying sod it will save money. You know, a lot of people have been hit hard as well. You know, people losing their jobs for one reason or another. You know, it might be AI, or it might be the fact that Donald Trump is pretty much screwing the manufacturing sector in the United States, and companies are shutting their doors, just like Nissan has just done. Just like, you know, AI and what have you, got Microsoft, they're just laying off another 4,000 employees. A third of Meta's programming staff has been laid off. They're not hiring again because of AI. You see, AI is going to destroy so many jobs. If you've got tourist industry, there's all these big chunks. You see out of your economy, chunk over there, another chunk over there, another chunk over there. Before you know it, it's a great big pile of money that you haven't got. And while all this is going on, you've got the billionaires out there who don't spend the money either. So all they are is like cash extractors. It goes up and it goes out. So that's what happens when you have billionaires in government. Tax breaks for the rich, tax increases for the poor, and also cut off services as well. Well done, MAGA. Well done. You pretty much screwed yourselves like you did. Anyway, please click the like button if you want to support the channel. You do it on Patreon or buy us a coffee, and the links are down below. And if you want to subscribe, just press the subscribe. But also, there's a little bell. Have you seen that little bell icon? Yeah. Click the little bell icon. It says all beside it. Click that, and then you, not a word of a lie, you will get a warm, fuzzy feeling inside every time I upload another video. I know you'd be excited about that. Toodaloo.